Now, when it comes to car audio, very few brands have been doing it as long and as good as Kicker. Today, we've got their Tech Force team, both John and Aaron, joining us to talk to us about a couple of the hottest products coming to you from Kicker right now. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Kicker car audio. And it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and yep, we're talking to Kicker again because, well, we're talking car audio, and what is a show of car audio without Kicker? Now, of course, let me temper the expectation. We're not going through the elaborate catalog as a whole, but we've gone ahead and hand-selected a couple hot products that you definitely need to know about. John and Aaron, both of you, welcome back to the show once again. What can we expect to cover on today's Connected?
Hey, Ben, thanks for having us. Of course, that's John. This is Aaron, Kicker Tech Force, and we're going to talk about 4 different things today. 3-way component systems in the KS lineup. We're going to talk about the refreshed CompQ subwoofers, some L7T truck-specific loaded enclosures, and last but not least, the powered down-firing loaded subwoofer enclosure systems.
All right, 4 hot products from Kicker coming at you. But first, an opportunity for our partner SiriusXM to remind you why it's always a great added sale. And when we come back, we've got Tech Force from Kicker in the house, and we're talking Kicker car audio. Don't you dare go away.
Hi, Paul Truman here with SiriusXM. We reached out to some of our partners in the industry, and here's what they had to say.
I can't say more or enough about just what it means to have our unit working with SiriusXM. It's like we're there now.
The SiriusXM service is something consumers want, right? So it's Paul.
That allows a consumer to listen to either podcasts, entertainment, sports, all at their fingertips. It's all about engagement, and that's what SiriusXM provides.
SiriusXM is a huge component in a vehicle nowadays. Consumers expect that technology to be available both in our OEM system as well as the aftermarket upgrades that they're applying to their vehicle.
Alpine and SiriusXM, through our electronics, are able to offer the consumer on the aftermarket side SiriusXM 360L, which is an expanded platform for SiriusXM. And it's really been a beneficial relationship for us with SiriusXM.
As a dealer, just remember, we don't compete with anybody else. We are absolutely one of the best profitability accessories you can add to any head unit that is SiriusXM ready.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. As mentioned, we have our friends, both John and Aaron from Kicker Tech Force, joining us today. To kick off today's show, we're going to talk about speakers, but more specifically, we're going to venture off into the world of 3-way component speakers. Now, as you know, this is for the individual who's looking for the top-of-the-line sound by having 3 different drivers represent the full range of frequencies that it can. And when it comes to 3-way component sets, I believe Kicker has not just one, but 2 options they want to share with you.
Thanks, Ben. The first thing we want to talk about are the KSS Series 3-way components. They come in 2 different varieties. We have the KSS 365, which is going to be the 6.5 inch, and the KSS 369, which has a 6x9 inch woofer. What's really cool is the 6.5 does come with the grill, but most of your cars nowadays don't need the 6x9 grills. To keep that cost, more reasonable, we've decided to eliminate the grill for the 6x9. But we are going to give you both adapters for the 6.5 and the 6x9 to fit in a myriad of door panels or any other applications. Make sure that those speakers are mounted properly. Now, to go along with that, you have to have a great mid-range. So we've got this great little Kicker KSS 275, which is also a 2 3/4 inch mid-range, which is going to give you all the vocals and all that mid-range frequency just exactly the way you like it. But if you notice, there are no mounting holes on this speaker. This speaker comes with 3 different adapters. It comes with both sizes of 2 3/4 inch mounting adapters, and it's got a 3.5 inch for a lot of the Chrysler vehicles and the older vehicles that use that 3.5 inch. Now, for the ultra high frequencies, you also get a 1 inch silk dome tweeter. And if you don't have an application where the tweeter already mounts, we're going to give you this great little mounting pod that's mounted on a ball and socket, so you can angle that and point it exactly where you want it. These systems are great, but we haven't talked about a crossover yet. You don't see any large crossover on the table. That's because we've listened to you guys, and you guys said you want to do an inline crossover, so that's exactly what we have. Every single driver has its own inline crossover, so there's no reason to find room to mount a big old bulky crossover that you just don't have room for in today's smaller cars. All 3 of these component systems sound fantastic. They're going to fit in almost any 3-way application you have, and of course, it's going to sound great because it's from Kicker.
Well, first off, I want to mention that this is a great example of how Kicker is listening to the marketplace and coming up with solution-based products for these type of applications. And yes, more and more vehicles are having that kind of 2.5, 3.5 inch size in the dash to be able to accommodate. So I love the fact that you have those different trim pieces to be able to adapt that mid-range driver into those spots. Now, I have two questions. The first question being power. Are these systems requiring amplifier power, or will they suffice on original deck power just to do a simple swap? And lastly, as far as the range in this, is this for the high end clientele, or is this more of an OEM replacement type of deal?
Now, power is also a very important consideration when talking about any speaker, not just woofers, but with components and coaxes as well. Now, the 6.5-inch speakers, they're designed to handle 80 watts of power continuous or 160 watts peak. The 6x9s are rated to handle 100 watts per channel continuous or 200 watts peak. That doesn't mean you have to have that much power to run them, but if you've got it, they are going to love it all day long. Now, these speakers represent Kicker's premium level of coax and component speakers, so if you really want good sound and you're listening to something that is really important to make sure you get every instrument exactly the way it was recorded, Kicker premium components and coaxes are the way to go.
All right, moving on to the subwoofer category. Now, this is a line that obviously is very popular, and it represents the highest performance within the round series of subwoofers from Kicker. As you know, there are both square and round series of subwoofers. Of course, we're talking about the Comp Q series, and this is a brand new, fresh redesign for the entire series. I'm excited to hear more. Aaron, what can you tell us?
The Comp Q inside these walls is known as the best sounding round subwoofer we've ever offered. It is the pinnacle of round subwoofer technology. Solo cone material for deep resonant bass without any distortion, long throw santoprene rubber surrounds for cone control, massive motor structures. When it comes time to refresh a driver like this, you got to be careful. So what we did was we updated the cosmetics, and we re-optimized and put in new voice coils. The 10-inch woofer was 700 watts RMS, now it's 800 watts. The 12-inch was 850 watts RMS, now it's a full 1,000 watts RMS, and the 15 went from 1,100 to 1,200 watts RMS. All the power handling you can possibly need in a high-quality round subwoofer. And because we like that finished, polished look, we even include these little covers for the screw holes. So when that woofer's in its home, it looks perfect and it sounds amazing. These are the refreshed Comp Q subwoofers.
All right, so that was a breakdown of the brand new refreshed Comp series or Comp Q series of subwoofers from Kicker. And you know what? That little touch of concealing those screws, A1 to whoever thought of that. Good job, Kicker. All right, moving on to our next category. As promised, we're going to talk about some truck enclosures because obviously trucks are kind of a big deal, and having solutions that are application specific and purpose built for this job is going to be important, especially for those customers looking to save space but still have that base. So, John, what type of solutions does Kicker offer when it comes to truck enclosures?
We have got 3 great examples of purposely built enclosures for your specific truck application. We've got the Ford F-150 box, which has got 2 10-inch L7T woofers, one of my favorite woofers. It's rated to handle 1,000 watts of power continuous. We've got the Ram box back here. Boy, I really wish I had this one for my Dodge Ram. I really like the fact that these woofers fire straight up, and we've got this great custom-built mesh grill to make sure nothing drops in that woofer and it's going to rattle. And of course, we can't forget you Chevy guys. We've got the dual 12-inch Chevy box out here, which is rated to handle 1,200 watts of power. These things are designed by the same engineer that designs the speakers, so it is perfect bass every time. They are cross-braced. They've got acoustic dampening material inside. All the woofers are screwed into metal inserts. That means no wood screws in these enclosures. They're carpeted with this really great black carpet. They fit perfect, and they sound even better.
Wow, some really monster looking options to go underneath the back bench of the truck on those Kicker L7T enclosures. Okay, our last product that we're going to focus on is one that, well, quite typically is a bestseller because everybody wants bass, but not all of us have the space. So I'm interested to see the solutions in these PTRTP loaded enclosures. I understand these are available in both 10-inch and 12-inch variety, but I'll leave it to the expert to give us all the details.
Hey Ben, one of the common challenges for the average consumer is deciding which amplifier, which subwoofer, and which enclosure do I want to put in my vehicle? How much space do I want to lose? Well, the PTRTP is a perfect solution for just about anybody. Essentially what you've got is a Comp RT 10 or 12-inch subwoofer and a bass reflex driver. What does that mean? We give you all the fantastic performance of a big ported subwoofer enclosure in a thin sealed package. In addition, because it's down firing, that means the woofer and passive radiator are firing down at the floor, not sacrificing any fantastic sub-bass response, but now I can put groceries or a stroller or golf clubs right on top of the enclosure without any sacrifices. They come in 10-inch and 12-inch, and they're amplified. The 12-inch has a 500-watt amplifier, the 10-inch has a 400-watt amplifier. And because the enclosure, the subwoofer, and the amplifier are all designed by the same team of engineers, they're guaranteed perfect performance every time. The installation is relatively simple as well. We've got a quick disconnect for the power, ground, and turn on. So if you do need to take it out of your vehicle for any reason, like maybe a Jeep, take the top off, you can simply disconnect it and take out the subwoofer, and the wires will not touch, causing a short. In addition, we also include a subwoofer level control, so you can mount this at the dash and control the subwoofer output with ease. Now, what's better than having a subwoofer in your vehicle? Having two subwoofers in your vehicle. So let's say you want a ton of bass. You put two of these 12-inch PTRTPs in your vehicle, and then you add in this dual subwoofer level control. Now you're controlling both amplified subwoofers with one knob.
And that was both John Myers and Aaron Malin from the Tech Force team over at Kicker, giving us the details on 4 awesome products that you need to know more about. Now, to find out more specifications and details, I do encourage you to head on over to the website kicker.com. And if you happen to be a dealer calling in from Canada, or tuning in from Canada rather, make sure you hit up the folks at GemSen, as they are the longtime distribution partner for all things Kicker north of the border. Now, my takeaway from this, I think the guys did a great job selecting 4 very unique products in different categories for you to contemplate on. It goes without saying that Kicker engineering is face forward in all of these products, whether it's the really smartly designed 3-way component set or the refreshed CompQ round subwoofers, and even the solutions like the truck and, as you've seen, the downfiring even I have a problem saying it, PTRTP enclosures. It goes without saying that Kicker has a solution for every scenario, every customer, and more importantly, every budget. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.